and welcome to our webinar for Unheard, our September initiative for this year. We're so excited that you're here with us watching this webinar live or watching it recorded. I want to introduce our team. My name is Kayla Holland. If you do not know your Break Free Initiatives team, I'm Kayla. I'm here with Christina Campbell, and also on our team is Kat Crawford. So you'll see one or all of us throughout this year, hopefully many times, but definitely in your webinars for the initiatives. We have some exciting news to kick off our 22-23 initiatives. We have our entire calendar for the year ready for you and available on our website. I'm going to put a link in the chat that you should be able to see to our teacher resources page. So what you'll see, we're already in August working on Unspent. We're getting ready to launch Unheard in September. So if you haven't registered, please do so. But this is our entire year of initiatives with 12 initiatives this year. So in October and February, we will be running 2 initiatives at one time. So definitely look at those. We've also added 2 math initiatives and a new science initiative this year, totaling our 12 monthly initiatives from August to May. So we worked really hard and tried to implement as many of our core subjects as possible. But this webinar is for Unheard, so I'm going to pass it over to Christina to talk about that.
Yay, awesome. Thanks, Kayla. And hi, everybody. We are so excited to be back in our school year and with the launch of all of our initiatives, and especially Unheard, which is one of my favorites. So you're here probably already with some knowledge around Unheard, but just to recap, Unheard is our speech writing contest. So students get to explore speech writing, the importance of using their voices in order to be heard. They're going to learn about speeches and what makes speeches powerful. They're going to learn about some ethos, pathos, and logos, and some techniques in order to make their speeches powerful. And they're also going to understand the key elements of putting together a speech from start to finish. So this is an 8-day curriculum, and it ends up with a national speech contest. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about how it's all broken down. First, I want to just tell everybody that all of our teacher resources are always available on our website. I'm going to actually just scoot over to our website here. And if you were to just go to breakfreeed.org, you'd be on our main page. But if you go to our work and hit teacher resources, a little pop-up's probably going to come up, and I'm going to ignore that for the time being. But if you ever want to find anything about our initiatives or anything that we offer in terms of, teacher resources, this is the page that you want to go to. And if I scroll down, you'll see there's a box for every single initiative. So Kayla was talking about those 12 initiatives as well as our 2-year-long events. You can find links in order to find more information on that. So I'm going to just jump over to the Unheard webpage and just review this real quick. Here's a little breakdown of what Unheard is. There's a sign up button here. If you haven't already signed up, you can access it there. We have a speech writing prompt, right? This ends up in national contests. So we have to have a prompt for your speeches. Here it is right on the website. It's also in the materials in your slides if you haven't accessed that already. And then all of our teacher resources in order to facilitate Unheard are available right here on the website. We have our lesson plans. We have the actual presentation slides. You can download it as a PowerPoint if you need to. Very important are our contest policies and guidelines. Access that when you're going to submit your students' work to our competition. We have some ideas on holding speech contests. We have the submission template, which is very important. And then we'll have links to both the walkthrough video where I actually dig in deep into every single slide, basically. But I go over the actual slideshow so that you can be more familiar with the material that it contains. And then we have a link to the submission portal as well. There's this suggested calendar that we offer. Again, this is meant to be adapted and to fit your school calendar and daily schedule. And then we have our winners from previous contests. And I encourage you guys to visit this and actually listen to the speeches. It might be some great inspiration for your students as they work through Unheard. So because we have the walkthrough video available on the website, which I encourage you to watch. I'm not going to go through all of our content. I'm just going to highlight a couple important things. So the first thing I want to point out is that we have designed Unheard so that it can be taught in any class or be taught in any class. But we have these mini lessons that specifically incorporate ELA and social studies content. So you'll see that on days where we have mini lessons, we have ones for ELA. Those cover capitalization, punctuation, word choice, and clarity. And then we have mini lessons that can fall under social studies around student activism, free speech, and voting rights. So if you are an ELA teacher, you can ignore the social studies mini lessons and vice versa. Or you could honestly ignore all of them if you wanted to and just focus on the speech writing and speech analysis. But we do make those available because we want to make sure that as many teachers as possible can, implement this initiative. So I want to talk a little bit about our speech contest prompt, which you guys saw on the website as well. But here it is. Stories get told every day, but only some voices get heard. So students are going to think about these questions. Whose voices are going unheard in your community, in the US, in the world? What is missing as a result of their voices not being heard? And why should we listen to their voices? Students are going to reflect on those questions. They're going to choose a local, national, or global group of voices that they care about and believe are not being heard. And then they're going to write a persuasive speech that outlines the importance of hearing those voices and proposes, this is important, there's 2 steps, outlines why it's important to hear those voices, and 2, proposes how we can work to better hear those voices and listen to what they're asking for. So again, I encourage you to look at our previous winners in order for some inspiration for students. I'll also point out here that our submission portal is open starting September 19th and it will close on September 23rd. So speeches have to be submitted by then. And then I want to just jump into the content for day 8 a little bit. So we talked about the speech writing prompt. And in order to get students kind of thinking about that and really reflecting on what voices they want to talk about, we have on day 8 an exercise where students are actually going to create an empathy map. So an empathy map is typically used in the design thinking world to help you grow closer and get a better understanding of an individual or group. And so for this exercise, it's going to help students to think about the group of voices that they want to advocate for in their speech. And they're going to start thinking about the unique perspective that their chosen group of voices has. And then after completing this exercise, students are going to have a better grasp of their focus group and will be able to, be better prepared to write that speech and hit the components of the prompt that we asked them to. So they're going to come up with their group. They're going to think about what that group says, what they think, what they feel, and what they do. And that's going to draw them a little closer and feel a little more connected to that group so that they can write a persuasive speech on behalf of that group. And then I'm just going to point out here that on that same day, after they've done their empathy map, they actually jump into writing their speech. So in our handouts for day 8, I'm just going to scroll down to the handouts. You'll see here is where they'll do their empathy map. And then they actually start thinking about, before they start writing their speech, they're going to think about who's their audience, what's their purpose, and what is their message. And when they brainstorm those 3 key elements, they'll then be able to jump into writing the full draft of their speech. So I just wanted to highlight that. It's super important that students have an opportunity to really sit with the prompt and really think about that group so that their speech is as best as it can be. There's an opportunity here to pause and ask questions, but I also just want to say that we are always available to answer your questions. You can reach us at the email initiatives@breakfree-ed.org. That is a live email. We are responsive to it. So if anything comes up or if you have a concern or you can't access a resource, please reach out to us. We're here to help. And that's what we want to do. So we are going to skip that slide. So anyways, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining our Unheard webinar, and we look forward to receiving all of your student submissions to our contest. And yeah, we'll see you next time. We'll be in touch.